All right. So I'm coming to y'all today because I was having a conversation with a friend this morning that really got me thinking. It got me thinking about this whole ascension journey that people are talking about and what it's all about. But then it also got me thinking about unconditional love. Okay. And what is that? All right. And what is it that we are actually trying to accomplish with unconditional love? All right. Now, majority of us understand a concept of unconditional love. All right. And this is the concept. You might not realize it, but this concept right here, which has actually been told over and over through generation in many different uh, holy texts. All right. Is just how nature is with us. It shows unconditional love. It rains on those who were loving, or what some would call righteous. It rains on those that some would call unrighteous. The food grows up out of the ground for those who some would call righteous. It grows up out of the ground for those that some would call unrighteous. All right? Every need that we have on this earth is met by this earth. Whether you want to accept it or not, it's still here. All right? But a lot of people don't pay attention to the earth's and nature's unconditional love. There's food, there's seeds that you can get and you can plant them, and food will grow and it will be delicious and it will be nutritious and it will feed your body and it will give your body the energy to heal itself. But because of the way that some of us have been raised and the programming that we have received, we choose not to eat that food, which we actually pretty much can almost freely get if we put in the work of planting and learning how to plant correctly. But we choose to go to the store and buy something processed because it's at the store and we don't have to do much work. And it seems cheaper because at the store, they actually charge more for organic things because you didn't farm it yourself. All right. And it's usually easier to make. You just pop it in the microwave. All right. Now, when you start to become having some type of illness or dis-ease in your body because your body is not taking in what it is naturally supposed to take in, which is food from the ground, food from nature, can you really say that there was no way to prevent it? Can you really curse the ground and say, you didn't show me love because I have this illness now, when the ground in nature has been offering its love to you and you just haven't been taking it? Now, why do I mention this for unconditional love? Because many people, I've actually seen people posting that they believe that unconditional love means I will do anything for you. That is not what unconditional love means. Unconditional love means I will love you no matter what you do. And my love will be here. But you have to accept it. All right? So, the difference between the two, all right? The difference between I will love you no matter what you do and I will do anything for you is this. I will do anything for you has no boundaries. All right? None at all. None at all. So, what happens is this. someone can give and offer all of this love, and this person over here is not trying to accept it, right? And so this person over here that says, I will do anything for you, is chasing this person, trying to make them take their love. The easiest boundary to have is the boundary that I will offer, you must come get. It's very easy. The offer is always there for this love over here. You got to come get it. Chasing the person means you have no boundaries. You're codependent. All right? Now, why am I even saying this? I am saying this also because in this ascension journey, I have noticed a trend. And it's a trend called, and when I say a trend, I say this is a trend because of how people are taking this phrase and how it has been manipulated to actually hinder your ascension. But this phrase of the twin flame, all right? Now, do I believe that they exist? I do. If you had asked me this months ago, because of what I have seen around the phrase and because of how I've seen people act and how I've seen how it has been used to create codependency, which is the complete opposite of what it was supposed to do, I actually for a time believed that the whole thing was a lie. Until specific things happened into my life and synchronicities happened and I was like, oh, that is true. They are. Okay. But I'm going to actually explain how I see the real or my perception, because everything is perception. So how I see my perception of the twin flame journey, I'm going to explain that. Okay? But I'm also going to explain how I see the perception that is being tossed around all online and being talked about is creating codependency. All right? And it's kind of distorting the whole meaning of the thing. All right? So in it, supposedly, you're supposed to be one soul in two bodies, right? From the first time I heard that, I rejected that. My body was like, because how are you supposed to ever understand that you are complete on your own if you're constantly looking for someone else to complete you? And that's all that does by saying it's one soul, two bodies. All right? No, you complete yourself. All right? You must learn to love yourself so that you don't have to go outside of yourself to find someone else to give you that love to make you feel complete. Because when you have to go outside of yourself to find someone else to give you that love to make you feel complete, guess what? You're a narcissist. You are taking someone else's energy. You're looking for people to take their energy. Like, all right? So, you don't want to do that, right? So, what's the best way not to do that? Love yourself. Focus on yourself. Make yourself complete. Make yourself complete first. And then, just as the law of attraction says, you attract who you are. So, if you want a life partner, then when you make yourself complete, you will attract someone else who has made themselves complete. Instead of being two narcissists trying to look for someone else to complete themselves. That is just an abusive cycle that has been perpetrated by many people online. But I don't believe that most of them know that they're perpetrating it. I believe that their perception is that they're telling the truth because that is their perception of the truth. But when you break down what's actually being said and the actions that occur because of this belief that you are now looking for someone to complete you, you can see boom, 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 or I can see all of what can be seen as negative effects from that. Now, I say what can be perceived as negative effects. Why? Because everything in this life is a learning lesson. So, as of now, I have learned that there really is no negative and positive because what may pain you still teaches you something if you take the lesson. All right? What pains you still teaches you something if you take the lesson. And if you take the lesson, then you'll learn where to put up boundaries so that it never happens again. But in a way that you're not pushing off everybody else. Does that make sense? Now, let me tell you a little bit about my journey. All right. So, technically, I can say that I have never been completely asleep. I never believed that the things I was seeing in this world were truth. I saw the illusions from birth. And because of that, I've always had a different perspective on things than everyone around me. And because of that, I was misunderstood a lot. Because many times people would think that I had ulterior motives for doing specific nice things for others and things like that, and it's just like, no, I'm just doing it out of love. And they're thinking that I'm expecting things from them, and I'm like, I don't expect anything from you, I'm just doing it out of love. And I had a lot of stuff like that growing up. It was just like, I really just don't know what to do then. Right? But it was about a year and a half ago that I actually had a business partner die. And it really hit me right here. And it took a while for me to get over that. But in the process, I started doing research on specific things. And to be honest, I can't even pinpoint all of the subjects that I was reading and that I was looking at because there was so much. I mean, I binged stuff. I mean, I know that I was binging this course on common law and being a free man. I binged stuff on the science of shamanism, what you should actually wear so that you're not causing discomfort and dis-ease to your skin, the things you should eat and how they should be cooked so that you're not actually taking the nutrients out of your food, what type of things should be in your house so that you're not actually causing pain to the earth by the metals and different things that you have in your house, because if you have those things in your house, then you cannot attract that breath of life from nature, because nature is running from the things in it that pains it, because nature is conscious. And I learned that. And I didn't know all that stuff before. Well, I knew it, but it hadn't been ingrained in me in the way that I understood why I knew it. And so I binged. And then all of a sudden I was visiting a friend. And my friend brought up this whole twin flame thing. And I was like, I don't know what it is. And I'm just like on the phone, like, okay, cool, whatever. And then her and her friend started getting deeper into it, and they're kind of explaining it to me. Actually, I did ask. I said, so you're saying something about a twin flame? Never heard of that before. And you said it's something different than a soulmate. So could you please explain to me what's the difference? I did ask that question. And then when they explained it, I instantly thought of someone. And I said, huh, I wonder if it's it. And it happened to be someone who had given me his hard drive full of all, like terabyte hard drive, full of all this information. And this is what I had been binging on. So I was like, this is possible. And so I started to look deeper into it, because I'm never one of those people that's like, you know what, I'm just going to believe what I hear. But instantly when I thought of that person, I was like, oh my God, that's actually pretty cool if that is, because that's like one of the smartest people I know. And that's cool. Like, I was happy. I'm like, oh, heck yeah, that's awesome. I got the most awesomest twin flame ever, right? And then we started to interact with that knowledge. And you could say there was a lot of triggers. Triggers to the point where I was like, I don't know about this no more. And when I look back, because again, everything is perspective, I am very sure that the other person felt the same about me. Because, again, we're mirrors for each other, right? And so, if I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I don't know, like, I'm probably doing things because their perspective in life is different from mine, that they're like, I don't know, this is, I don't know, right? So, there's a separation. And for a while there, I was like, let's keep it that way. And they were like, yeah, let's keep it that way. And what happened is this. In that time period, I started to truly believe, because I still kept doing research on it, and I started to truly believe that this thing was not real. That this was something that was made up to keep people codependent. Because all I was hearing was two bodies, one soul, they complete each other, da 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 da, and then when they come together, they're gonna change the world. And I was like, well, if that's true, when we came together, it changed my world, but we definitely didn't change the world. And I'm sure it changed their world, but we definitely didn't change the world together. It's not until recently that I realized something. Because in seeing how our lives mirrored, I noticed something. How do the twins change the world? No one ever answered that. They said, it's the mission. Yes, we do all have separate missions as well, all right? But again, if you're whole, you don't need someone else for that mission, because you have your own mission that you can actually do. You don't need that other person for you to complete your mission, all right? So how do you really change the world? Well, the biggest issue right now, or the biggest issue from a perspective, is that the love is lost. There is no unconditional love between people. Just because you perceive that someone has done something that you don't like, you call them the devil. You judge them and you ghost them without even talking to them. Is that unconditional love? Is it? No. Especially if you ghost someone and won't even give them the opportunity to explain. Especially if they're trying to come and talk to you and you're ghosting them. You have created separation. And love is not separation. Love is unity. So, how do the twins change the world? Because through our separate perceptions, which majority of time, both have had such, it's almost like the lives have been the same, but so different growing up. The perceptions are so different that each one is going to believe the other is effed up. And each one is going to believe that the other did something horrible to them. That the other, because of their perception, believes they did nothing wrong because it was just them being them. And how the twins change the world is by actually one of them has to show unconditional love to the other and show them that, you know what? No matter what you do, I love you. That I'm not going to chase you. And how do you do that? Offering that love, even if they're ghosting you. Offering that love. Now, I'm not going to chase you and try to force you to take my love. But I'm here. And whenever you're ready, we can do this. But until then, I'm not going to chase you. Because that's not unconditional love. The earth does not chase you with berries saying, please eat, this will heal your stomach. It doesn't do that. It just grows the berries. And it's up to you to go pick them and eat them. But there are so many people, because of how this whole twin flame thing has been explained, are ghosting that person that they think is in the wrong from their perspective. And they're not offering that unconditional love at all. And that's the mission. You got to think about it like this. If you truly believe that all of this is divine purposing, and that before you came here, you had an agreement and you made a plan for how you were going to wake up. And you made a plan for how you were going to get admission. And you made a plan for all that stuff with this other soul. And that plan was that this other soul was going to be the one to wake you up. And even though they might have had a horrible childhood and life, they did their part. And even though you may believe that they are the devil and just the most horrible narcissist in the world, they did their part. Because you're awake. You're watching me right now. And you now must understand that if they did their part and you're awake and you're where you're supposed to be and you're starting to manifest things and you're in mission and you're just happy and you feel like you're in heaven and you can feel that this person is sad and it looks like they're in hell, they chose the harder part of the agreement. They chose to go through horrible things and be seen as the horrible person so that you could stop giving away everything to everyone and chasing people around and trying to give them your love and then saying, oh my God, I'm so depleted, that was a narcissist, when you chased them down giving it. And they taught you how to have boundaries because you think they're the worst narcissist in the world. But they taught you how to have boundaries. And they taught you how to free yourself. And that's what their part of the plan was. But we forgot. And if you now, at their time, decide to ghost them, and if they reach out to you, you're going to ghost them, are you fulfilling your part of the plan? To be that person that shows them unconditional love. Are you? Because more than likely, them choosing the harder part, the harder life, makes them believe, because remember, we all forgot this plan that we made up when we came here. But because they chose the harder life, majority of the time, they don't believe people will unconditionally love them. And you're really one of the only people, or the most meaningful person, that can show them that it's real. And now you are doing your part. And now when they see that, and that can shift their perception of you, and they can see that you were never the devil that they thought you were. Because I bet you, if you think they're the devil, they think you are too. The only way to shift that perception, now that you have a higher level of perception, is to show them that you have always been working with unconditional love with them, and that the things that they thought you might have been doing, because they've had dealings with other people that were manipulative, and that's why they're also manipulative, and they thought you were being manipulative too. Once you show them that you're different by actually being an example of unconditional love, whether they take it or not, have it there. Now you're an example for the world. Now the twins are changing the world. Because people don't learn by you lecturing and just talking. Like me, right now. I'm talking to you because you are having this experience so you can understand what I'm talking about. But if I was talking to somebody who had no clue what's been going on, who has never gone through this journey, who has never heard of twin flame, guess what? They wouldn't get it. Because the best way to learn is through experiences, right? And then also to introduce that experience, for someone to actually be able to grasp it, they need an introduction of that experience. And the best way to introduce that experience is with an example. So be it. Be the example to your twin that you do. I want to say practice, but I don't like that word. That you live by unconditional love. And then they will experience your unconditional love when they finally accept it. And then when they finally accept it, you're now an example to the whole world of unconditional love. And when it's their time, they will experience it too, because they've had examples to show them how. And that is one way the twins change the world. So, I want you to think about the thoughts you've been thinking about this person you call your twin, and your perception of them. And I want you to answer, have you been doing your part of the agreement? No one said chase them. Don't do that. But have you just been offering so that when they're ready and they can finally see that unconditional love is real, and it's real through you, that they can take it and then they can share their own, because now they know how to. So, that is the conversation I was having this morning with a friend. And I thought I would share it because after we had that conversation, my friend seemed more at peace about her whole journey and understanding why she'd done certain things and understanding why she had continued to give unconditional love, even though everyone around her was telling her she was wrong. Or I won't say everyone around her was telling her she was wrong, but there were people. And even though sometimes she felt like, why am I doing this? And it's the same thing that I've done. And I know that there were specific times that because of my not understanding and not knowing something, I am very sure I hurt that other person. I'm sure you have too. So, are you going to allow how they hurt you to stop you from understanding the majority of the time that person who has not accepted that unconditional love yet, if you're given it, took the harder route? So that makes me love them even more. And so that makes me say, here, it's here. It's here for you whenever you're ready. I love you no matter what. And so when you're ready, we can do this. And we can show the world and everyone that unconditional love is real. And if others want to learn from that example and experience it themselves, they can. That's all I got for y'all today, guys. Talk to y'all later.